You can't put staff in the position of providing a report after the fact. Councillor Neal's got a valid comment here, and his sentiments are shared with anyone with common sense and that understand how to operate a business. You can't have something approved and move forward to the tune of 25 million and then afterwards ask for it to be justified. Like today, we got a report and it's
the motion that's on the floor.
Yeah, well, it's a motion to the motion that's on the floor because the motion refers to the report and the amount of money that we have in savings here. I'd be very interested to see what kind of position staff is going to be put in to be able to justify the savings line by line after the fact. And that's the position that the mayor's put staff in because they sure as heck can't come back and say,
Councillor Marimpietri, the mayor does not put staff in any position.
No, I'm saying that.
This is a motion
Can
that's
you
on the
allow
floor.
me to speak, Madam Chair? Because this is $25 million of taxpayers' money, and they got a guy over to the right of me laughing. The other one's putting staff in the position of having to report after the fact. And we got a report before us that's not even dated or signed. So anyways, you can say as you wish, but I think we've got a problem here. We can't be justifying stuff after the fact. The title is Consolidated Operations Depot, and there's nothing consolidated about this. We're taking, and we want to talk about savings.
Madam Chair, this has nothing to do with the motion that we're dealing with.
It certainly does. If you allow me to finish.
The divestation of property, we're asking to verify, all the motion is asking for us to, just to explain where the savings are, which is not out of order with regard to that. We're not suggesting that these weren't brought forward. Yes, I am, Madam Chair. And I think if we're going to start getting into properties and everything else, and I can carry on like some other people can and never stop talking just for the sake of talking. The motion is the fact that we just, the motion, if I understand it correctly, is just to clarify, and I can keep talking.
So there was a point of order on the floor to continue to speak to the motion at hand. I will have the clerk read the motion, and I would like questions.
No, I'm fine with it. I would like to continue speaking. I was interrupted by something that wasn't a point of order. I would like to continue speaking to the motion.
I took it as a point of order as the chair.
But it's not a point of order. It's under the rules of order.
You'd be more than happy to challenge me as the chair, but currently I am the chair of this meeting.
Go ahead.
Could you please read back the motion?
And then allow me to speak after that's done. Please.
That staff prepare a report to show the cost savings related to staff consolidation at the depot.
Exactly. So the previous speaker indicated that we'd already gotten this, but the mayor's asking for it now. So I'm confused now. To the previous speaker, question through you, Madam Chair. Do you have this report? Because you said we already had it, and that my comments and the mayor's comments aren't valid. Do we have this?
The previous speaker would be Mayor Henry.
No,
the point of order
no.
is separate and apart from this from
Councillor Peterbecky. Councillor Peterbecky.
Excuse me. All questions
No,
the chair.
Madam Chair. Do we not have this? Because I'm hearing from visiting councillors and current committee members that we have all this information.
Councillor Marimpietri, there's no cross debating.
I'm not going to go under the rules of Tito, Dante, Marimpietri.
Could you please be respectful and stick to the motion at hand?
Okay, so the motion, when you take a look at it, one councillor is saying that, we already have this information. A visiting councillor is saying that all of this stuff is not a surprise, yet we have the motion being asked for. I need to understand why we voted on a $25 million project without having the information that the mayor's asking for now, line by line. I have to question a report that comes forward basically on the 1-year anniversary of the project, and it is reminiscent of the Cullen miniatures. The fact that we're going to be... No, I'm not out of order.
Point of order. There's a point of order on the floor. It always takes precedence, Councillor Marimpietri. So, Mayor Henry.
The report you're referring to is CS-12-03.
No, I'm referring to the business case. And when you take a look at the 6th floor of City Hall being vacated, and that was never told of council, then we need to understand what the replacement of that City Hall floor will make up. So I do support the mayor's motion. I would like to see all that information finally come forward. And I do think that we should be taking a look at it going even further and looking at why we haven't taken any of the other properties and actually perform the consolidation that we said we were doing under the title of the business case here. That's what I think needs to happen. Because when you pay $25 million for a facility and you're asking for what the savings are, and you're not calculating what your other assets are and you're going to continue to operate, it's a false bottom line. And it's also a misleading title. It is not a consolidation of services. We currently have Howden, we have McCord still we haven't sold, we have Ritson, we have Farewell,
Speak to the motion.
we have now 199 Wentworth Street, and The motion that I'm speaking to is.
Madam
is
Chair, point of
exactly
order,
that.
can we get to the motion here? I don't know where Howden and everything else is getting in on
It's called
what the
savings.
motion is all about.
The motion is,
It's called savings. How can you save all that money
there's
if you
no
still
cost
have that
debating
on
at this
stuff?
committee, please and thank you.
How can you say it's
Councillor
consolidated?
Becky has a point of order.
That wasn't a point of order, you just interrupted me.
Well, then I can declare it not a point of order as the chair, but that's not your role
You
as a
are you
councillor of
declaring
this
your point of
committee.
order?
I would like to
On
hear
your
the
own?
point of order instead of a cross debate
Madam
between
Chair,
council
I will
members.
relinquish the floor to you because you obviously don't allow the councillors who actually have questions on this issue.
This is about a motion that is
Without a
duly
business
moved
case.
on the floor by Mayor Henry related.
You have the floor.
Madam Chair, all members of council have spoken. I'm going to give you an amendment to the motion that I'm referring to report CS 12-0.
I have a question and amendment.
Okay,
I have a question and amendment.
do you have the amendment available?
I'm not sure if I can ask for clarification, how you want that motion amended to include that report number?
So, in fairness, what I'm asking is that report reference the savings. My motion is I'm giving you the specific report now where the savings has been reported in past reports that have been delivered to council.
So you have the answers then.
He's asking for more
Like, do
details
that.
on this
Point
cost.
of order. No, point of order.
What is your point of
My
order?
point of order is that the motion is contrary to the report. Well, do we have the savings or not?
There's
Has
no-
has it been reported or not? Let's not play cat and mouse
I
here.
don't accept your point of order, it's not
I
contrary.
know you
This
don't,
is-
but I
this-
have to make the point of order because it's clear that it's contrary to the report.
So then the amendment would be to clarify the cost savings as outlined in report CS 1203?
Yes.
To the amendment on clarifying the cost savings of a report. Councillor Neal.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think what this does is this amendment has not helped me out. What doesn't even come close. What we're doing now is
Damage control.
basically there was an uncertain degree of information that came forward on a major project that we're trying to basically plug the gaps now. I have said repeatedly at this meeting when this came forward, Madam Chair, that we did not get the information. Like, I don't really understand why the amendment would even be made on a nefarious motion that was previously made. Like, it's just complicating things more and more,
Point of order.
and
Mayor Henry has a point of order.
The motion is not improper. You can't accuse me of doing something. Even the Auditor General said that the savings would be between $600,000 and $800,000.
But it's not really a point of order. Councillor Neal, you have the floor.
in all honesty, you cannot take a city hall and start moving things around, moving staff
Speak
of
to the amendment, please,
floors,
Councillor Neal.
and then saying that there's a cost savings there. When
The
we're-
amendment is specific
Okay.
to,
Yeah.
could you please read the
And like I
amendment
said,
again so
I
that
mean
we're all
that-
on the
The
same page?
amendment is that staff be requested to clarify the cost savings outlined in report CS-12-03.
Okay, well, those are my comments, thank you.
You can move that as a separate motion after this motion has
It's a
been.
savings motion.
This motion is specific to a report and is specific to an item that is before this committee. After this motion has been duly voted on, you will be more than happy to move your motion and we'd be happy to vote on that as well. So on the motion as amended,
Will you read the motion?
we'll have the clerk reread the motion once again. And I called for a recorded vote. But please read the motion first as amended.
Okay, so the whole motion is that staff prepare a report to show the cost savings related to staff consolidation at the depot, and that staff be requested to clarify the cost savings outlined in report CS-12-03.
Carried. Now moving on to other items introduced by councillors. At this point, Councillor Marimpietri, you can introduce your motion.
The staff report to council, to committee in writing on the real estate holdings of the City of Oshawa related to operations and potential plan to divest of them for further cost savings.
Thank you.
Through you, Madam Chair, question, what's the long term?
To you, Chairman, I can't answer that question because it would have to be something that we would have to come back to council and gather support for funds and a plan associated with the scope that would be identified. With a particular location, I can certainly, for that particular location, I can commit to a short term. For the longer term, there's no funding envelope. As far as scope goes, it's difficult for me to provide an answer.
Okay, so question, we're gonna be looking at staff savings, hard costs in terms of employee or labor, but we're not looking at the facilities that they're in and what the savings or impacts would be to those facilities and those assets for the city of Oshawa. You see where I have a problem? You can't like just vacate a home, you gotta find out who the tenant's gonna be. Like it's valid, guys. So, that's my motion. That's my
Okay,
motion.
thank you for your motion. Councillor Pitterbeck.
Yeah, I won't support the motion at this time. We certainly do need to look down the road, but at this point, I won't be supporting the motion.
I would, based on the answers by staff, I'd be looking for a referral motion for staff to
No,
come
I
back.
have a question. I have a question before the referral, because it's my motion, so I get the code.
Councillor Marimpietri.
You know, why wouldn't we take a look at this to kill all, perception that we're selling the OPUC to fund this project? Why would we not, where are we gonna get the money
Stay
from?
on topic to the motion, Councillor
No,
Marimpietri. I know.
The motion, Councillor England,
It's Chair England.
Chair
Point of order,
please.
there's absolutely nothing in this report about the PUC, so
Okay, then I
let's
wanna
get
guarantee
out
that
of
none of
here.
the money from the PUC.
There is a point of order on the floor. There is a
No.
point of order on the floor.
Then I wanna guarantee that the PUC won't be sold for any
Councillor
Marimpietri.
Councillor Marimpietri, that is not currently
Yes, it
before
is.
this committee. That is not currently before this committee. I would really appreciate if you
Dispel the
could stay
myths.
on topic.
Then why
I
won't-
currently have
why
the floor
won't
as the
committee-
chair.
why
Please
won't the
stop
committee
interrupting.
vote for this motion?
Please stop
This
interrupting.
motion will dispel those myths.
Councillor
Where are we gonna
Marimpietri.
get the money to be able to facilitate the project?
Councillor Marimpietri.
Are you
The
guaranteeing
OPUC,
that the
Councillor
OPUC won't be
Marimpietri.
sold?
Councillor Marimpietri, that is not currently
Yes,
on
it is.
the floor right now.
You
It
know
is
it.
not currently related to the motion that you duly
You know
moved
it.
as a council member, which you should be well aware of since you moved the motion. Councillor Neal has made a declaration in terms of the OPUC being,
Can I
noted in
finish
this
speaking?
meeting, even though it is not currently on the agenda. I want to make
Can
sure
I
that.
finish speaking? Are you censoring me?
Councillor
Can I
Marimpietri,
finish speaking?
speak to
Madam
the
Chair,
motion at hand,
Okay.
please.
here's the motion, and this is what it does. It enables us to be able to say that there's a plan for cost recovery on other properties, and to be able to say that's where we're gonna get the money from in order to consolidate the operations. And that it won't come from the sale of the OPUC. We need that guarantee, not
Councillor
only as
Marimpietri, that
taxpayers,
is not related to the
but as
motion that
councillors.
you duly put forward. To the.
It doesn't matter, that's my opinion. You don't understand, you can't censor someone's opinion.
I'm not censoring your
Yes, you are,
opinion.
Madam Chair.
I'm asking you to stick to the rules of this committee and follow procedure.
You followed
I
your
know.
rules, and that's
Councillor-
fine.
That staff prepare a written report back to committee on the real estate holdings of the City of Oshawa related to operations and plans to divest property and further cost savings. Councillor England.
No.
Councillor Marimpietri.
Yes.
Councillor Neal.
Yeah, with my declaration on the OPC, I'm still gonna vote on it because it wasn't allowed by the chair, so I am voting yes.
Councillor Pitterbeck.
No.
Mayor Henry.
No.
2 affirmative, 3 negative.
Point of order. Okay, I'd like to move another motion. That staff provide council with a written report.
Would you withdraw the last motion?
I can't just withdraw, it has to be with the consent of the committee.
With the consent of committee, can we withdraw the last motion? The last motion has been withdrawn?
That staff provide a written report on all cost savings, inclusive of real estate, on this Consolidated Operations Depot.
Councillor Neal.
Yeah, I've asked the question, and since the public utilities is owned by the City of Oshawa, I will not be voting on that. That's real estate owned by the city, and it could be basically sold off, so I will make my declaration as my spouse is an employee of the PUC. Thank you.
All the information related to savings is already within all of the documents that have been given to us. The question related to the depot, that's coming back, so, I can't support that.
The motion that I have currently is that staff provide a written report on all cost savings, inclusive of real estate, on the Consolidated Operations Depot.
We had a report, a Consolidated Depot Operations report, business case, if portions of it related to development services, I didn't see development services here. Could you just allow me to finish speaking? When we take a look at the motion that
Councilor Marimpietri, I'm requesting that you divide your motion.
I don't want to. It's a request, but I don't want to. Do you see what I'm saying? You can't censor or tell me what to do. So I'm gonna go on the basis of what our rules are. When you take a look at the motion and you try to understand why I moved it, Madam Chair, can you please stop turning my microphone off?